You're out in the wilderness, miles from your truck, all alone. Isn't this precisely what they told us never to do in Boy Scouts? Then why are so many of us sucked into the world of solo hunting? Are we foolish? Antisocial? Crazy? Maybe. Maybe all three. But that doesn't mean we're wrong. What's up guys, it's Eric from Late to the Game Outdoors, and today we have to talk about solo hunting. Should you do it? Why should you do it? How can you do it safely? And maybe you're the type who has never given it a second thought. You're young, single, a Daniel Boone level woodsman. Why wouldn't you spend every day all alone in the woods? A guy on a buffalo. But for those of us with spouses who worry, kids who would like to still have a father, and who don't want to end up as bear scat, should we be messing around with this whole solo hunting thing? I've had to answer these tough questions to people who care about me. I've been told in no uncertain terms that solo hunting is, quote, stupid and selfish. Okay, point taken. Little awkward, but I hear you. Counterpoint, solo hunting is awesome. Alright, I suppose that's not like an airtight argument that's going to win any debates, so let me get into a couple specific reasons I think a reasonable person can go solo hunting and still be considered relatively safe and responsible. First of all, there are more ways to take precautions now than there have ever been in the history of mankind. I mean, aside from all the basics, like making sure you have first aid experience, the right clothing, the ability to procure fire, water, food, you have a basic set of outdoor skills. You also need to have some way to get a hold of someone if things go south in a hurry.
Thank you, Little Roots. Please stay strong.
A couple decades ago, the best you could do was leave a map with your loved ones and tell them when to deploy the search party if they hadn't heard from you. Now, we have these simple, fairly affordable devices that let you communicate with people no matter how many miles outside of cell range you are. They also have the handy little SOS feature that'll put you directly in touch with search and rescue. So yes, generations of hunters before us just went out into the woods, and when they came back, they came back. That was all the good people at home had to go on. But there's no reason to put your family through torture while you're out there, so if you're gonna solo hunt, have some sort of satellite communication device. I honestly believe it's on the necessity list if you're gonna head out there alone. There's just no reason not to have it. Alright, logistics aside, let's talk about some of the deeper issues at play here. There are worse, and statistically much more probable things that could go wrong in your life than a mishap on a solo hunt. I'm not going to presume to speak for every solo hunter out there, but I can say with absolute confidence that solo hunting is something that keeps me sane. I'm an introvert, I'm not ashamed of that, and I need a few extended periods of solitude over the course of a year to keep myself, leveled out. I can feel it when I've been just constantly surrounded by people for months on end, and I just need a couple days to be in the utter and marvelous quiet of the wilderness. I've found no place more mentally refreshing than a lonely glassing point miles from anyone. My wife and I are in total agreement that the slight risk of a wilderness accident is well worth it compared to the bigger risk of breaking my brain.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
On a more meta scale, let me make a point specifically aimed at the men out there. If you've ever felt that, this is it kind of feeling, you grew up and kind of got your life together, you have a family, a decent job, like you're getting a taste of the American dream, and somehow it feels kind of hollow, or like you thought it would scratch that restless itch. Killer band name, by the way. I believe one of the huge things creating that angst is this desire to get out and do something wild. Not crazy, not irresponsible, not buying a Miata and running off with your 20-year-old hairdresser, but just something that involves some risk and adventure. There's this primal man, still buried underneath your polo shirt and Americano, that has nothing to do and wants to get out and play. For me, hunting has been a huge answer to that. Solo hunting further increases that sense of adventure because there's just something primal about matching wits with the wilderness all on your own. It's just you and nature, don't screw it up. I love that. It restores my soul, and at least for me, it's worth the risk. Okay, I could preach about the inner benefits of solo hunting forever, but one more practical thing before we wrap this up. You have to be smart out there. Alright, hunting solo is a different beast than hunting with your buddies. You have to evaluate every potential decision through the lens of, I am alone out here. That's not to say you don't get after it and you don't take some calculated risks to maximize your hunt, but there should probably be at least one moment in every solo hunt where you stare at a steep ridge or an avalanche chute and think, you know, if I was out here with somebody, I'd go that way. But I'm gonna pass right now because it's just too risky alone. All I'm saying is you need to add just a bit of extra caution when you decide to go alone and let that modify how you might normally hunt just because the stakes are now higher. So, if you've been dreaming about solo hunting for a while, absolutely, get out there and try it. Take precautions, get yourself an inReach or something like that, hunt smart, but also just enjoy every moment of it. If you've never been before, prepare for the fact that it will get a little creepy and unnerving at night. It doesn't matter how many nights you've slept in the dirt with people, the first time you do it all alone messes with your head a little bit. But power through. I'm a big fan of some sort of sleep supplement just to help you relax a bit more and get a decent night's sleep when every single noise sounds like a mountain lion coming to snack on your lonely self. But after enough times, you get used to it, it really becomes no big deal. Alright, hopefully some part of this helped somebody. If nothing else, maybe it armed you with a more cohesive argument for your loved ones who think you're crazy for wanting to do this. And if you have any other advice or tips for successful solo hunting, drop them in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, please do me a favor, subscribe right down here. And if you want to see a solo hunt in action, check this one out. And if you want to hear the honest truth about my first night ever solo in the backcountry, that embarrassing story is right over there. Thanks again. Now, just go have some sort of awesome solo adventure.